87% of water consumption in Australia is by the agricultural, resources, and industrial sectors. And yet for many of these businesses, water is not a key consideration. They need to focus their energies on making their product. And so water is often the forgotten cousin that is left behind and doesn't necessarily receive the attention it deserves. It's also frequently one of the lowest costs to the business. And so it's not really front of mind. But something really interesting is happening in Australia. From January 2025, mandatory reporting in the form of a sustainability report has been introduced. And so many of these businesses are now going to be focused on ESG and, importantly, how they manage water risk or their risk to water scarcity for their business. And that is rightly so, because we are seeing an increased risk of price increases for water. And this is a result of things like aging infrastructure, population growth, as well as responding to climate-related challenges. So there's a perfect storm that is unfolding at the moment around water use for industrial resources and the agricultural sectors. We're also seeing that many of these businesses are now becoming more aware of their roles as it relates to water stewardship. They want to be seen to be doing good, and they want to raise their brands as industries who care. We're also seeing that they do want to provide affordable services or affordable products for their customers, which means that they're trying to do more with less. So where does this leave the industry sector? At the moment, some of them are forging ahead and some are doing better than others in how they are tackling their water challenges. But because this is not a key area of expertise for them, it's taking a lot of time, a lot of resources, and they're being forced to make mistakes and learn the hard way. Others have just not even started on that journey. So we're seeing a very big difference in maturity. So this creates an opportunity for collaboration. From our perspective, often in the production chain, water is not necessarily an area where industries would compete. And so this opens up an opportunity for the industrial sector, who would ordinarily be competitors, to collaborate on how they can manage their water challenges. But how can we dial that up a bit more? Our Utilities works with hundreds of water utilities around the world, and we've worked with them for the past 14 years. So we have a very good idea of what works and, more importantly, what doesn't work. So when an industrial organization is starting on their journey of how do they manage their water and how can they learn faster and not repeat the same mistakes, we're very well placed to be able to advise them in ways of how do you do a water audit? How do you look for leakage? How can you optimize your process so that you're not using as much water? How can you turn your waste products into a potential value add resource recovery stream? So ISLE is working with the industry, and we're also very pleased to be working with Water Stewardship Asia Pacific in helping them to roll out their roadmap and work with organizations who are actively pursuing water stewardship to raise their brand, close the gaps in how they approach water use. And also, we are working with the AWA, so Australian Water Association, on how they can work with new potential members in the form of industry to better manage their water risk. So that's looking at how can you optimize your process so that you're using less water? How can you find leaks? How can you change your perspective on how you see water within your business, and also upskill your staff without having to take down tools or take too much time away?